Friday, October 3rd. My apologies for being late to the YouTube live crowd, but I gave them a bunch. So if you want to see extra kind of banter and questions, we went over Apple, I went over BMNR, I went over how to set up ChatGPT or Grok on your phone, your iPhone. There was a lot. So you can literally just go to Linktree, or you can go to the youtube.com @dailystockpick. And when I'm live, you'll see this photo. Okay, you'll see that photo that's up top there. When I change it to the thumbnail of that day. But there's a playlist, and there are a bunch of playlists. I set them up. I have the video course series there, the tools that I use, including TrendSpider. If you ever want to see about seeking alpha or anything, shorts, those are useless. Live extended podcast, that's where I just go live at 8:30 in the morning. And if you don't want to watch all the banter and stuff, you just want the podcast, it's right there. Okay. And I used to do these 1-minute stock analysis. I may start doing them again. But again, that's how you get to it. And Linktree has it all. It's right up here, literally across the top, all the socials are. So not only are these sales, but this is how to get in contact with me and blah, blah, blah. So Linktree is the central hub for all of this. I will go over a lot because we had another record close. Day 2 of government shutdown and the market saying, F you, I don't care. We'll go over what the shutdown means. Robinhood sent me a great note last night. I will read that one. The October watch list is continuing to kill it. We'll go over a couple of stocks there. Tesla shocked the world and delivered nearly 500,000 vehicles. I think it may be 800,000, but they're not going to hit their year-end goal. I will give you my thesis and how I look at Tesla and what I do. And by the way, the ETF Wild, which I brought up last week, we'll go over how to look that up in the newsletter because I want to show you which date I posted it on. And nuclear power, we'll go over some ETFs there. There is you've heard about rare earths. Well, there's a new company with rare earth, and maybe the government is starting to take another position in another company. And then we'll end the day with crypto and the Seeking Alpha Weekly Chris, because crypto is going nuts. Because yes, if you'd like to join me on Webull in this little journey where I have $1,000, again, Webull is down here. Join Webull. Get free stocks. My Webull account, I am very open with it. It started at $1,000. It's now at $14,000, $14,500. Okay? Mostly crypto. If you remember last week, that was down around 12,000, 11,000. The swings will come. So we'll go over all of that. But let's look at the charts. Again, the market's open because I'm late. It's 9:45. We've got green candles. Apple got downgraded and then it winds up turning green. So we are in a buy the dip market. Right now, government doesn't care about, the market doesn't care about the shutdown. Wall Street ended in green. Day 2 of the government shutdown. Does anybody care? Well, let's take a look at some of the things that shutdowns do. So this is a note from Robinhood that I got last night. And I have changed my mind on the app on Robinhood. I actually like the app. It's been pretty good. But I want to point to you the end part of this. Shutdowns are disruptive, but history suggests they're more noise than lasting damage. Right now, we see the biggest inconvenience being delayed data, which we didn't get the jobs number, unpaid for now federal workers, which does pose a problem. Mortgages may be late. Maybe they can't pay their credit cards. Maybe for some reason they cut back on spending. We are a spending economy. That could be a problem. But it's a lot of political theater. And FYI, if you're watching the news, don't. Expect a little noise, but remember that markets have seen this movie before. So that's why they're holding up. It's not because it's nothing. It's because if this lasts 9 or 10 days, everybody's happy. If it goes on for a while, nobody may be happy. But here's the thing. When the S&P makes a new high in October, and make no mistake, yesterday, October 3rd, was October, but when it makes a new high in October, the fourth quarter as a whole is up more than 90% of the time. That's not somebody's talking head opinion. That's actual facts and numbers. Know the difference when you're looking at data. Somebody's opinions, if I were to say, it's for sure Q4 is going to be up, that's an opinion. This has you at 9 out of 10 times. So is it likely? Yes. The word likely needs to be in there because the market will humble you. Okay. We could see a complete crash and you could see everything come tumbling down in the fourth quarter. But we're in a bull market until you're not. And so when you look at a weekly chart of just QQQ, yes, I have pointed out before, these indicators, the RSI and the MACD, are extended. Do I want to buy up here? It doesn't feel comfortable. But if I'm looking a year from now and my buy from now, if I'm going to buy now and then it goes down in December, my thesis wasn't right. My thesis is for a long term. So my thesis, if I'm going to buy now, is a year. Let's go back a year to September 30th, 2024. I guarantee you, you take yourself back in time and you say, oh God, the Qs are nearly at 500. It's at 488. I don't know what's going to happen. Trump, maybe wins the election, or maybe even more horrifying, Kamala wins the election if you're in that camp. I didn't care who won. Honestly, it didn't matter. It was bad for me, would have been bad either way. But you just play the market that you have. And so if your thesis in September of 2024 was, hey, Trump's going to win, the market's going to go up. If your thesis was Kamala's going to win and the market's going to crash, don't buy. Don't buy. So if your thesis right now is Trump is going to continue his tariff play and the market's going to crash, or AI is the bottom's going to come out, don't buy. But if your thesis is the market is strong, we are 2-3 weeks away from actual earnings season, which earnings past season was super strong. We're seeing Apple, which is one of the largest, I think it's the second or third largest company at the current point between Microsoft and Nvidia. We're seeing that kind of play out as a very good stock. We're seeing Tesla deliveries way up. We're seeing the S&P earnings as an overall grow. We're seeing a weak dollar. Again, where's the narrative that you want in your mind? Because I'm not going to put it there. You've got to put it there yourself. So I want to go over alpha picks now. And I know I talk about this a lot, okay? But I want to go over this a little bit because I brought up a stock on Monday. Okay, that's part of the Alpha Picks portfolio. By the way, if you want the Alpha Picks portfolio, I suggest Premium and Alpha Picks together just because it saves you $159. And again, the dollar amount, when I'm going to show you this stock, it's been a winner. And by the way, the Alpha Pick that we just got on October 1st, I just paid for 2 Alpha Pick subscriptions by putting money into that specific stock. Doesn't always happen. But I'm going to bring you this stock right here. Okay. This is an alpha pick that I brought up on Monday because it was the lead performer in my portfolio on Monday. And I was like, ooh, this one's finally coming back. Picked back in March. We'll go over the chart. But look at the 5 days on this one. It's up 16% in 5 days. Could you pay for alpha picks with a 16% gain? Probably. Now, it is a hold. It's a hold in the quant. But I want to take you how I look at these things and why I bought it in the 4-hour algorithm, okay? Well, you look at this, okay? The quant updates nightly, and it gives a grade on valuation, growth, profitability, momentum, and revision changes, okay? The revision changes are just the monkeys on Wall Street guiding you. But I like the valuation, growth, profitability, and I like the momentum the most. And when I took a look at this back, Monday, it was around here. The quant hadn't changed, but the quant score was started to go up. Okay. And what was the letter changing? Well, when you look at it back here, the valuation went from an F to a D. And then you took a look at it. And the other one that changed specifically was profitability. From a C plus to a B minus. Is that a big move? No. But then I went over and I said, as that started happening, I said, hey, let me set an alert in TrendSpider, because I had already started, because the letter changes were changing, I had started adding back here. And I said, this one was putting in a floor between earnings and it dipped. I lost money on that one, but I didn't trade it. I just added to it, and I didn't add big. As this one got me confirmation, I did add a little bigger. And as this one got me more, just here on September 29th, I think that's when I put it in the newsletter. But again, I added even more. Why? It had confirmation. Boom. 15% in just 2 days. I traded sideways for months looking for a direction. This is where you take Alpha Picks and TrendSpider together, or whatever chart program you have. Because the reason why I was so confident in buying this, and I didn't necessarily want to trade it, was because of the return down here in the bottom. 236% with the 4-hour algorithm versus 261 with the asset performance. If you just bought this 24.6 months ago and you held it, you made 261%. So am I perfectly fine buying and holding? Well, look at where Alpha Picks bought it. They bought it down here. And it has been a loser in the Alpha Pick up until just recently. It hasn't been a huge gainer, but I've been able to add this one to the portfolio. And I say it a couple of times. Alpha Picks and TrendSpider, they are perfect together. You can't get a bundle. The bundle is premium and Alpha Picks together. But if you add TrendSpider on top of that and you use my link, you get the 4-hour algorithm. And it's all on Linktree. Go and check out these tools because this is what's making me money in this market. And I want to point out the newsletter, the October watch list down here, right here. Okay? I'm going to bring up a couple of things here. The watch list was up 1.63% yesterday. The total for 2 days, it's up 2.46%. One of the ETFs that I chose in this watch list, it's up 9.3% in just 2 days, while 2 stocks are up 6%. Yes, there are losers. The worst performer, down 9%. There's another one that's down 4%, but the winners are greatly outpacing the losers. Ironically, the one that's down 4%, it has a 4.99 quant rating in the quant. Okay? So if you have the watch list, go and check out the watch list if you're a paid subscriber. Don't think that you need to pay for this, though. Again, I bring up all of these on the podcast. I just bring them together so that paid members can add them to their watch list, choose 4 or 5 of them, and start to do it for a month and see what you get. Because September and August were very successful. And I want to point out to you, okay, I got a letter yesterday from somebody that said, hey, what's your thesis on gold? And by the way, they tipped me. Usually I don't give my thesis, but this particular person sent me a nice Venmo here with, and PayPal and Cash App. You can do it right here on Linktree. And so they said, what's your thesis on gold? I gave them my thesis. So my thesis on gold, and I've said this before on this podcast, you can do this in AI. So I basically went to Perplexity, and you don't have to pay for Perplexity. This is free. I said, I want to invest in gold with S&P 500 stocks or an ETF. My thesis on gold is that with the U.S. debt and other country debt rising and other countries buying gold instead of U.S. bonds, the price of gold is going to rise. Is that correct? And if that's correct thesis that I can expect to play out, can you give me 3 top ideas on how, what stocks or ETFs to invest in for the next 2 to 5 years? I did a 3-year chart of GLD versus the S&P, and I see gold is actually outperforming. This is where Seeking Alpha comes in handy. Pull up GLD, go to the charting, go to the 3-year chart. Look, gold is up 125% versus the S&P up 82%. Now, when you zoom out a little bit, gold isn't outperforming. But when you pull in, look at the year to date. Gold is up 47%. So this thesis, and if you don't know what to ask about gold, tell AI you don't know what to ask. But it tells me your thesis that the rising debt is correct. And it gives me gold versus the S&P. Most forecast and analyst commentary of 2025 suggests gold is likely to maintain its performance advantage over the S&P. And here are top investment ideas. It gives you the ETF of GLD, IAU, gold mining. It gives you the miners, the mining ETFs. And here's some stocks: Newmont, gold, FNV. Check them out. Again, this is how you use the internet to your advantage. This isn't a paid tool. I am not giving you perplexity. Hey, sign up for this. This is absolutely 100% free. So, like JD Vance says, have you said thank you lately? Let's talk about my thesis on Tesla. Okay? Tesla blew it away with Q3 deliveries. It was down 11% yesterday, something like that. This could be the canary in the coal mine. Why? Because when Tesla has been up like this, up near all-time highs, when it's been up at this level, guess when the last time it was up here? Well, it was November 2021. 2022, you went into a tailspin in the Qs. Well, you're up there again. By the way, December 2024, what happened? Liberation Day. We took a nosedive. Is this the canary in the coal mine again? I don't know. Don't expect this one, these deliveries, to stay at this level, okay? I almost bought a Performance Model Y on the night of September 30th. They were doing a deal where you could order it, but you didn't need to take delivery, and they'll have it available for you later this year. And the new Model Y Performance, it has everything that I want. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should upgrade. I decided not to do it for different reasons, but I liked it. There will be people, a lot of people in the Tesla Facebook group that I was looking at, they were buying and putting in their $250 non-refundable deposit in order to buy it. That's all you had to do. So expect Q4 deliveries to probably be similar, but it's not going to make up for the lack of growth of this company. And that's the problem. It's not anything other than the growth. The valuation has never mattered in this. But when you look at revenue growth, they're down 2% year over year. That's the problem. So what's my thesis on this? Okay. Well, let's first go. Dan Ives, he's putting it out there that he thinks this could be a $1 trillion payday, this could move to $3 trillion by the end of 2026. He says it can reach a $2 trillion market cap in early 2026 and $3 trillion by the end of 2026. By the way, let's go look at the market cap. It's 1.445 trillion. If he thinks it can be $3 trillion by the end of next year, you're doubling this stock price. So what's my thesis on Tesla? It's not a car company. It's an AI company. This is going to be robots, and this is going to be the cyber cab. And so that's what you're investing in. So cars, if your thesis on Tesla is cars, get the F out. Because that's not the thesis. It's going to be AI and robots. And if you're nervous, about the volatility in Tesla and you're scared, use the 4-hour algorithm. I just brought it up. Look at that. 101% over 24 months. Whereas if you bought it and held it, you're up 81%. Now, I have made a mistake in the past where I didn't use the 4-hour algorithm. I kind of trusted my gut sometimes. So I buy and hold a small amount of Tesla. But I also hold quite a bit of XLY, okay? And when it gets up to this point, I start to trim the XLY. And why do I own XLY? Because XLY, 40% of this is between Amazon and Tesla. Simple as that. I can get the benefit of Amazon and Tesla in an ETF that also holds 53 total names. It holds 51 other names that I can participate in. Now, XLY, it basically meets buy and hold. So I take these suggestions of this 6% gain. I take it as a guide, not as an absolute. So there's my thesis on Tesla. You don't have to have that thesis. Come up with your own. Make the mistakes that I have made, because I've made a lot of mistakes in this stock. Had I bought, instead of paying $65,000 for my Model 3 in 2018, that would be close to $1 million today. I bought the car instead of the stock. And I traded the stock, and I didn't have the 4-hour algorithm back then. So I didn't have this safety of saying, ooh, I should get out during this time and I should add during this time. Use the tools that you have. Find a strategy. Make the mistakes. Now, here is Dan Ives' thing. Dan Ives is putting out a list of mergers and acquisitions in the AI space. Okay? 10B, QLYS, AI, Lyft, Trip, SanDisk. I've brought up SanDisk before. SanDisk has been on a tear. Is this going to get bought up? Look at that one. 4-hour algorithm had you in at 44. Where are you today? 132, 300% gain. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 217% versus 139%. Again, it's only 7 months. This has only had 4 positions. You can see them right here because it just started back testing right there. Didn't get you in during the beginning, but it got you in here at 34, 11% gain, 7% gain. You lost 1 of 5%. And then you took off. So is that one going to get bought up? Maybe. And it could push it a little bit. Now, I brought up this one. Okay. I want to go to the newsletter. This is the ETF Wild. 70% in 3 months. It holds CoreWeave, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Palantir, NVIDIA. It changes its holdings every month to the 5 most widely traded stocks that have the strongest score on an investor sentiment and momentum. This is a crazy momentum 2-time strategy. And I brought this one up in the newsletter. If we go and look at this one, again, here are the 9 holdings that it holds. It holds options to 2 times it. And if you look at this over 1 month, it's up 59%. Okay, its assets under management, 2.89 million. By the way, my net worth significantly higher than that. I have more money than this has assets under management. So be aware, filling these orders might be a little bit difficult. But if you look at this, again, the 4-hour algorithm, where'd it get you in? Wild down here. Let's pull this out. It got you in here, September 9th, at about $22. You're at 37. Use the tools that you have. And one of the tools is my newsletter. So if you go up here on the newsletter and you just type in this, type in WILD, okay? It should pull up the last time I brought up Wild, which looks like it's September 23rd. September 23rd. Let's just scroll down and we'll look for it. Let's see. I went over Trend Spider Sidekick. I went over the fall plans. There's everything with the sale that was going on. Is it a bubble? History repeats itself. Alpha picks. It's down in here somewhere. There's Apple. There's NVIDIA. There is, let's see, 10 stocks to watch this deal on. TLN. Did I just pass Wild? I think I may have just passed it. APLD, Applied Materials, that's one that I missed. BMNR, let's see, a few retail traders. Yeah, Grab, Better Home and Garden. I must have missed it. But this was one where I put in a whole bunch of like YOLO ones by September 23rd. But if you have a sticker that you want to see if I've gone over, just type in the dollar symbol and you'll find a bunch of emails, a bunch of stuff with that those tickers in there. But this one, put it on a watch list. Now, AI is all about power. What about nuclear power? Steve Kress gives you 5 nuclear ETFs to power your portfolio. Here they are up in the upper right-hand corner if you want to see them. Okay? Go and research them. But Steve Kress has done the research for you. If you have Seeking Alpha Premium, you can read his entire research. Simple as that. Power is needed for all of this stuff. You know what else is needed? Rare earths. And you're seeing this one. USAR, okay, US Rare Earth. The CEO was on CNBC yesterday, and the stock went nuts. It was up like 100% something. Let's just look at USAR, the chart, because it goes parabolic. Again, 4-hour algorithm had you in here at $13.76. Let's just see. If you bought it down here, $13.76, you're up 100% in 22 days. It's gone crazy. Why? Because this is like MP Materials. MP Materials went nuts. 6 months, you're up 197%. Okay? This went from a $6 billion company to a $12 billion company, literally overnight, with the U.S. government taking a stake in it. Is USAR, they haven't taken a stake in it. Is this the next one to run? Well, it's already kind of run. And FYI, this one is only a $2 billion company. But 6 months ago, it was a $1 billion company. So it's doubled, simply almost the same as MP Materials. Now, Wall Street thinks that USAR is a strong buy at a 5 out of 5. 4 analysts that cover it, but they say the price is worth $19. So don't chase the hype, but maybe trade the chart. And I would say with the volatility on something like this, trade it on shorter time frames. That would be my guide to myself. Now, I want to talk about crypto. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I really am not. And when I talk about crypto, anybody that knows about crypto is going to say I'm dumb. Because I am. I've made a ton of mistakes with crypto. Did I buy and hold MicroStrategy? No. Did I trade it effectively with the 4-hour algorithm? Yes. Yes, I've done it in the past. But was it as effective as this 4-hour algorithm tells you? No. I haven't made over the past 24 months 1,837% because this doesn't fit my risk profile. I'm not getting in and out every time. So tokenization. Let's talk about tokenization and my next step, okay? Vlad is telling you tokenization will eat the global financial system. He basically gives you this. And here's a Seeking Alpha article that explains it in terms that I can understand. I think the financial system would be largely willing to go through this transition, he said on Bloomberg yesterday. Okay, in June, Robinhood tokenized stocks like OpenAI and SpaceX for their on-chain version of their US counterpart. They hold the stocks and then they put them on their own blockchain and they let you buy them. That's what's going on. And by the way, it's all going on with the Ethereum platform. Okay? ETHA is my Ethereum play. But just like I just brought up MicroStrategy, I think it's got a bigger, here's the thing about Ethereum. I think it's got a bigger market play than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin actually has a supply-demand issue. So I'm playing Bitcoin for the supply and demand issue, but I'm playing Ethereum for the functionality of tokenizing the system. And Ethereum, ETHA is the ETF that I have, but Tom Lee's BMNR is one that I've got on there, okay? And let me just point this out to you. Had you bought Bitcoin, when during COVID, when you got your $1,400 stimulus check or your $1,200 stimulus check, whatever it was, back in 2020, it's worth $21,000 today. This is free money. So if you have to pay off bills, pay off bills. Be smart about it. But if you're just getting free money and you're just going to stick it in the bank, YOLO it. That's what I typically did. Now, I sold my GBTC during this time, and I made a mistake. I shouldn't have sold it. But my thesis on crypto is simple. BMNR, Tom Lee told us, with every dollar that you invest in BMNR, he's able to buy $3 worth of Ethereum. So I don't think he could say that unless he could actually prove it, because the SEC would put him in freaking jail. But that's my theory on it. And remember this. Trump wants to send you out money based on the tariffs. You may get more money in tariffs. And then look at my investments, my most recent investments. Robinhood. Okay? Kudos to anybody that bought Robinhood at this 140. In a week, you're up 25%. It's at 146. Okay? Kudos to anybody who bought Coinbase with me when I said I was buying it at 300. You're at 371 right now. Yes, I'm in these. And I got this alert yesterday. Did I buy more? Not yet. Not yet, because my theory on BMNR, I've got a bunch of it already. but I put my support resistance line in there and it's around $50. If we get below that 50, I will start adding. I take a look at this one and I say, okay, if I get confirmation and we start going towards the 60s, maybe I start adding, but I've got a good base of this one. And then you've got Bitcoin starting to rally again too, hitting the 120,000 mark. So again, my point is, make sure you have a plan, make sure you have a thesis. And if you have a thesis, don't be afraid to take action. It's going to be scary. It always is buying at all-time highs. And it's hard. Buying Robinhood at $100, I think that stock's worth probably a 40 or 50 in a decent world. But the reality is the growth that they're doing, the aggressiveness that they have, and the management style that you're going to get big runs. So I like that one. Now, want to Seeking Alpha premium stuff that I really like? This was this weekly quiz. I'm a trivia geek. I don't know trivia stuff, but if you give me trivia on the market, I probably know it. This is the first. I've done 5 tests. I got a 10 out of 10 this time. 10 out of 10. So go and take the weekly test. It's going to be in the newsletter. Now, as far as scans go, I did scans. I'm going to include them. I usually don't include them in Friday's newsletter, but I didn't do any of them this week. But we have a bunch. FBCG, this is the blue chip, Fidelity blue chip ETF. You can probably find a better ETF. My dad loves this one. It's in the core portfolio if you didn't know. Okay, this one gets a buy. It's saying, hey, blue chips might be going for another run. Look at that MACD right now. Okay, if we just scroll in here, the MACD is only 0.3 points above the oscillator. And it's crossing up, bullish signal. The RSI, no man's land at 62. It's not overbought, it's not oversold. And then, are we getting ready to run again on Palo Alto Networks? This one, the 4-hour algorithm got you in here at 171. It hasn't sold. Yes, it's been sitting there at 200. Yes, I trimmed at 200 and I wound up putting that money into AMD. Why? Because when I look at a long-term chart of this one, it's hit 200 once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So again, understand the stocks that you own. All of these, the 4-hour algorithm entries, including Palantir, they will be at the end of the newsletter. And you may say, well, look, Palantir's down 5% today. Why did the 4-hour algorithm get you in? Well, it's a formula. It's a technical strategy. Okay. And you look at the strategy, it makes you 500% over the last 2 years. If you bought and held Palantir, you've made 1,200%. Your average win on this is 25%. Your average loss is 3%. You're down 4% today. So you're just above your average loss. So if you didn't get the trigger to buy it, maybe you want to look at buying it the next time. Set up an alert. Again, anything that you need is on Linktree, including TrendSpider. Get it for $50 a month. You can get a trial probably. I think even the 2-week trials are less than what you'll pay for lunch. You know, go and try it. You get my 4-hour algorithm when you sign up for an annual plan through my link. You need to use my link. And even with Seeking Alpha, the bundle, you need to use the link to get the discounts. All of those are discounted. If you want to join me on Webull, that's down there. If you want to get Visible service, my phone service, this is my phone service. Great service. I get a free watch. I bought the Ultra 3 because I get a free watch on my plan. For how much? $45 a month. That includes taxes and fees. It's $45 all in. And it's the Verizon network, the best network. So again, everything is on Linktree. If you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.